Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to the CVB show. As always, I'm Stevie B. Well, we have a really special guest with me today. I've known this man since the 90s. I mean, I call him the Vince McMahon of New England wrestling. This is Mr. Sheldon Goldberg. Sheldon, thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, Sheldon, you are a wrestling promoter, and he's also written some terrific books. We'll talk about that later. But, Sheldon, now, you used to be the owner of, what was it, New England Championship Wrestling?
Still am, yeah.
You still am? Now, is that going to come back anytime soon, or?
Not in the form that you would think. We got some video projects coming in the pipeline, but no live events.
Oh, okay. So I met you.
At least no new live events. I mean, the video stuff may be a live event. So
no. So I got to ask you. I met you first. I don't know how many people remember the Good Time Emporium in Somerville, Massachusetts, and I saw quite a few wrestling shows there. And I used to be a really major wrestling fan back in the '80s. Kind of shows you how old I am. But I grew up with like Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, Andre the Giant, and I went to one of the shows for New England Championship Wrestling at Good Time Emporium, and that's when I met you, and we've become friends ever since. So, Sheldon, I gotta ask, how did you get started in the wrestling business?
Well, before wrestling, I was a theatrical producer.
Oh, really?
I did publicity for Broadway shows and shows on tour, and then I became a producer and produced plays. I knew a lot of people, and one of them was a fellow by the name of Abe Ford. Does that name mean anything to you?
No, I don't think so.
Abe Ford used to be the local promoter for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Oh, when Vince McMahon Sr., right?
That's correct, yes. And he had an office on Boylston Street in the Steinert Piano Building, which is in the theater district, just down the street from the Colonial Theater.
Yeah.
They sell pianos.
Yeah.
And above, they have rehearsal studios and a couple of offices, one of which was Abe Ford's office. So I used to see him. I was a wrestling fan back in the 60s. So I used to go to the Garden, and I knew who Abe Ford was because he had his little picture on the programs, every month. So I met him and struck up conversations with him, got him tickets to shows every now and then. And but I had been a wrestling fan, so I knew Abe Ford. Didn't think I'd ever be professionally involved in pro wrestling until much later. But we used to talk quite a bit. There was a Brigham's on the corner of Boylston and Tremont Street years ago.
Not many people remember Brigham's. That was my favorite place to get ice cream.
Now I'm showing my age. I'm old. So so he used to go to this Brigham's and have like a tuna sandwich and a cup of coffee or whatever. And he'd let me sit next to him and we'd, shoot the breeze about different things. He did more than just promote wrestling. He promoted country music. He promoted strippers, all sorts of things. And nice man. He and Vince McMahon parted company. Vince McMahon Sr. parted company in the mid-'70s. There was a big lawsuit between the two of them that Abe actually won. And Vince Sr. had to buy back the rights to promote wrestling in Boston from Abe Ford. Long story, which I won't bore you with, but so Abe Ford sort of piqued my interest in pro wrestling as show business. And once my theater career started to, times were changing, money was harder to raise. So instead of producing plays, I turned my energies towards pro wrestling. I published a newsletter for a number of years. And
oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I met a guy named Tony Rumble.
Boston bad boy Tony Rumble.
Yes, and he and I worked together for about 5 years before he passed away. And after his passing, I started New England Championship Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. You you mentioned before you produced Broadway shows. Like, what can you name some of the shows you produced?
Well, not Broadway shows, but off-Broadway shows. I produced a musical review called Dancing in the Street, which was a huge hit. Ran for almost 2 years. Was produced both here in Boston and in Washington, D.C. at Ford's Theater.
Wow.
Yeah. I did a little show that was an off-Broadway hit called Key Exchange. Another little musical review called Another Saturday Night. So, but as I say, once the 90s came around, the money got harder to raise.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent more of my time trying to raise money than actually producing anything. And so I turned my attention to other projects. The newsletter was one, and then I got into promoting wrestling after Tony's passing. I helped Tony with Century Wrestling Alliance, which later became NWA New England, and got deep involved in pro wrestling at that point. And once Tony passed away, I started New England Championship Wrestling. So
Wow.
that's a short form version of a long story.
Now, have any of your stars from your NECW, have they gone off to like the big time, like the WWE?
Oh, many, yeah. John Cena worked for us before he became famous. John Cena, yes. Frankie Kazarian, Kofi Kingston. I gave Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné her first professional match. I gave Becky Lynch her first match in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. When I'm talking about me with wrestling, though, like I said, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with it. But my grandfather, my nono, who passed away back in the 90s, he introduced me to wrestling because he used to love watching. His favorite wrestler was Bruno Sammartino.
Of course.
Bruno was, he was from Italy. He loved to, and that's my one regret, that I never got to meet Bruno. I too, but he remembers, like, he watched all the old, and he used to watch it with me whenever when I was a kid. He was watching when he came to this country. He watched Sammartino, Haystacks Calhoun,
right?
Chief Jay Strongbow. Was it Gorgeous George? Was it what was that?
Gorgeous George was the died in like 1960, 61.
Yeah, well, my grandfather came here like 1955. So
okay, yeah. So he would have been part of there. Buddy Rogers.
Yeah. Killer Kowalski.
Kowalski, of course.
Yeah.
Bulldog Brower. Gorilla Monsoon. Just tons of guys.
Well, when I grew up, it was Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, Andre the Giant, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog. I even remember the cartoon they used to have on the Saturday mornings, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. Yeah. And funny thing was about that cartoon, Hulk Hogan didn't apply his voice to that. It was Brad Garrett.
Yes.
Brad Garrett, who is a voiceover actor. If you ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond, he plays a brother Robert.
Garrett,
It's a funny show. But like I said, I used to watch Saturday night's Main Event, and like I said, I don't watch wrestling as much as I used to. It's like WWE, the Raw is now on Netflix, so I don't watch as much as I used to. But then when I met you, I talked to you, and I asked you, like, I'd love to apply to be like a ring announcer, like, ladies and gentlemen, this contest is, and it never came around, but it was a lot of fun to do and everything. And we're going to show some photos with your years in wrestling. We're going to show some photos that you sent me that there's many different superstars and many people in the wrestling world that you have met over the years.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at that now. And, well, first off, this is my photo. This is the late, great Killer Kowalski, Walter. He was the nicest guy, and he sadly, Killer passed away in 2008. But first of all, this show will be dedicated to his memory because, Walter, we miss you. We love you. And I have one of the first shows I did on public access was his wrestling school in Malden. And I went up to him like, he played such this really big bad guy all the time, but he had the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life. But he was like a gentle giant. And so anyway, I go to his school, talk to the wrestlers there that are training and everything. His students pretty much beat the tar out of me because they showed me all different moves. I got body slammed, I got a finger four leg lock, all that stuff. And I'll say one thing about wrestling though. They say the lines, it may be scripted, but they really do get hurt doing these moves. And anyway, like I said, I did all these things, and when I got home that night, I mean, I had black and blues all over my body. I mean, like I said, you got to be in really top physical shape to do these things. You know, it's a lot of training.
That's
you know,
correct. Yeah.
So it's not because one wrong move could put you in the hospital, or I mean, but anyway. So I want to tell this funny story about Killer, and Killer. I'm sorry, but I have to tell this story. When the show ended, right after I got beaten up, I went to shake Killer's hand. You know, he's got that big hand, and he shakes my hand. Then he grabs my thumb. He grabs my thumb and he twists it, right? And he's and I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's trying to pull a wrestling move. I'll do the same to him. So automatically, I went around him and I put him in a headlock. I didn't know he had a toupee.
Oh,
I swear to God, I let him go when I realized it, because his hair was going up like this. And I'm like, and his students beat me up even more after that.
I'm sure.
I mean, I didn't know it was, he started it. I mean, he just, I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I didn't know it was a toupee. I swear to God. I mean,
oops.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Killer. I'm sorry. But anyway, he was a good sport about it. You know, it was fun, you know, and, I last saw him. He was in the hospital. He had really bad knees. They were thinking about making an operation, like a knee replacement for both his knees.
Right.
But he sadly took a heart attack and he passed away. And I was devastated. And I went to his funeral, believe it or not. And his prize student, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, was one of the pallbearers. And all of his students came to the church in their uniform, in their outfits, their wrestling outfits. I'm like, what a wake! So I ended up talking to Triple H, and Howard Finkel was there too from WWE. He has since passed away. But I'm just saying that Killer was a good sport. He was, like I said, one of the nicest men I ever met. You know, and we miss him, and this show is dedicated to him. Okay, so we're going to take a look at some other photos that you have. Okay, now, who is this right here?
That's Jushin Thunder Liger.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
From New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, so does he still wrestle, or is he...
He's retired, but he's still somewhat active in the wrestling business.
Are you in Japan here in this picture?
No, I'm in New York, New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, it was at a wrestling convention.
Did he ever wrestle in the WWE, or...
No, he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. He did wrestle somewhat for WCW.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Now who is this?
That's Rocco Rock, one half of the Public Enemy.
Oh.
Flyboy Rocco Rock. The Cheetah Kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. I like your shirt. Tradition rules.
Yeah.
I like that. How is he doing? Is he still?
He's passed away. He's passed away quite a number of years ago, unfortunately.
That's sad. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We all know this. Mean Gene Okerlund. Yep. Oh, I know he passed away. I miss him. He was one of my favorite people to watch. I loved.
Great guy.
You know, Randy Macho Man Savage. There was this really funny. My station manager told me he saw this thing with Okerlund and Macho Man Savage. You know, Gene, that pencil mustache of yours, and it's just it was funny. I mean, I love Gene. I especially loved his Andre the Giant interviews, and with Andre putting his hand in his face. It was like really. But he was quite a character. I know.
A terrific person.
I believe it. Now, where was this taken?
This was in Rhode Island at the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It was just a few years ago, about 5 years ago. Yeah. And Gene was one of the inductees that year, and we got a chance to get a picture together.
Yeah. He was quite a character. Yep. I liked him a lot. Okay, next one. Now, I know who this is. I remember him from ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. I think he was called the Blue Meanie.
You are correct.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Where was this picture taken?
This was at a wrestling convention in, I believe, Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I know I used to watch. There was a wrestling organization called Extreme Championship Wrestling, and we got to mention that one of the stars of Extreme passed away recently. His name was Sabu, and,
Right.
And it's sad. It was sad. I mean, but yeah, I do remember him from ECW. Let's see the next one. Now, who's this?
That's Vampiro.
Vampiro.
He was in WCW. Big star in Mexico.
Oh, so where was this shot taken?
This was on Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get around. I don't.
You get around
hang
everywhere,
around.
don't
Yeah.
you? You get around
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
I'm around. I get around.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So his name. So he's a Mexican wrestler for a Vampiro.
He's actually Canadian.
Oh,
and made his fame in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that's Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he wrestled in. I didn't watch too much of WCW. I mean, I remember like when Hogan and all the other WWE stars went to WCW. But I remember the ones I do remember was like Disco Fever. You know, he used to play like
Disco Inferno. Yeah.
Disco Inferno,
Right.
you know, but he had that really catchy Disco Fever. You know, he was dressed like John Travolta and everything.
Right.
That's one of the few things I remember. But let's take a look at the next one. Oh, now if you're one of the old school, you will know who this man is. This is
Right.
Classy Freddie Blassie. Classy
Right.
Freddie Blassie.
That's correct.
Used to
Classy
call
Freddie
everybody.
Blassie.
Used to call everyone a pencil neck geek.
Right. This was taken in Newark, New Jersey, at a Cauliflower Alley Club reunion banquet. I was on the board of directors at the time. I'm on the far right.
Yep.
Next to me is Lou Thez, the great Lou Thez.
Didn't he used to run AWA, right?
No, you're thinking of Vern Gagne. Lou Thez was a
Oh.
former NWA champion for years. Goes back to went back a long way to the 1930s. One of the all-time greats, great man. Of course, Freddie Blassie. Another great wrestler next to him, and that would be Red Bastien. And then George Napolitano, very famous photographer for wrestling magazines and so forth.
Now, what event was this? He's getting an award or something?
Yeah, Cauliflower Alley Club.
Oh, cauliflower, like his cauliflower ear.
That's correct,
That's
yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, I mean, he was one of the funny ones. I do remember Classy Freddie Blassie. My grandfather loved him. He just loved, he just loved the characters that he did and everything.
Yeah, Freddie was quite a guy.
He was quite a guy. Let's see the next one. Now, I know this face. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
He was former world champion.
Is it Pedro Morales?
That is Pedro Morales.
I knew it was. Oh, I remember him. I saw him wrestle at the old Boston Garden a long time ago. I went to my first wrestling event at the old Boston Garden was Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage. Like I said, and Pedro Morales. He used to team up with Tito Santana. Isn't that right? Yeah. He was. He passed away too, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, it's sad. Like a lot of these wrestlers that you grew up with are no longer with us.
Yeah. Well, we all get to an age where our heroes pass away. And
I know that's the thing. People, but it. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. Now we all know who this is. Now, looking by his hair, well, that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Did you ever think that he'd become as big a star as he did when he was starting out in the wrestling ring?
I knew he'd be a star. To the extent that he's a star, no. I don't think anybody could have predicted that he would have been. He was 25 years old in this picture. This was before he got into WWF. This was just before they brought him up.
His father was Rocky Johnson.
Rocky Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, he. I don't remember Rocky Johnson, but weren't his cousins or uncles like Sika and
Appa and Sika? Yeah, all the Samoans are kind of related to each other.
Yeah, and I know I've seen him in. He's hosted Saturday Night Live 5 times, and he's great on Saturday Night Live, and but I've seen him in many movies like the Jumanji series and everything. But he's got a really funny. I loved watching him during the 90s. I mean, what's your name? Like, it doesn't matter what's your name. Like, he's just, but I can tell it's a young picture because of the hair he has and everything like that.
Right,
but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it was He's quite a character. He was quite a character.
Very, very nice guy outside the ring. Very much the real deal as a person.
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? Now, is this Terry Funk? I'm trying to.
No, it's his brother. That's Dory Funk Jr.
Oh, yeah, they look alike. They do. Oh, wow.
Sort of.
Now, where was this? Where was this?
This was at a wrestling convention in New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, because they used to be like real hardcore, like really over the top wrestling. They all crazy
Dory
moves.
Funk Jr. was the NWA World Champion for about 6 years, and he was a great, great wrestler, as was his brother Terry, and their father, Dory Funk Sr.
Wow.
A great wrestling family.
Oh, and let's take a look at the next one. Now I know who this is, Gorilla Monsoon. He was without a doubt one of my favorites, especially when he was on the wrestling show with Bobby the Brain Heenan, and it's so funny that Gorilla actually had a son. His son Joey tragically passed away in a car accident back in 1998 or so.
Right.
And it really affected him. And when Gorilla passed away, Bobby Heenan was on WCW, and he wouldn't go on until they made a tribute to Gorilla. I mean, Bobby Heenan really took it the hardest. They were
very close friends.
They were very close. You know. And I remember during Bobby Heenan's Hall of Fame speech, he said the one thing that was missing, he wished Monsoon was there.
Yeah.
And but I mean, now is this another cauliflower?
Yep, this was in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, right near the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And it's Red Bastien with us in that picture.
Yeah. Now, was Red Bastien, you mentioned him before, was he a wrestler or a manager?
Yes, he was a wrestler, yeah.
Oh.
Wrestler, promoter.
Wow. I don't remember him. Maybe it was before my time.
Yeah.
But Gorilla was one of my favorites, growing up in the 80s with him and Bobby Heenan just made
I remember him from the 60s when he wrestled, and he was the Manchurian Giant.
The Manchurian Giant.
Right.
Wow. That's okay, let's take a look at the next one. The King Harley Race. I remember him. Now, I'm guessing this was a cauliflower thing that you
No,
did?
this was at an NECW event in Quincy, at the Quincy Armory.
Wow, yeah. Man, you've met so many famous people, many famous wrestlers that, and I never thought I never got the chance to meet myself. But I remember in the 80s, he used to be called the King Harley Race. He had this big fight with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and so is that his belt right there?
Yeah, NWA World Championship.
Yeah, he was.
It's a replica of it anyway.
Yeah. What year was this? If you don't mind asking?
This was 2007, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember, like I said, all these characters I remember. I love looking at these photos of people that you've met over the years. Let's take a look at the next one. Now, I know this person. I'm trying to figure out his name.
The hint is in the fingers. Four Horsemen, J.J. Dillon. Manager of the Four Horsemen.
Yes, J.J. Dillon. Oh, okay. Who was in the Four Horsemen? Him, Arn Anderson?
Ric Flair. Tully Blanchard.
Yeah,
different people were in it at different times. Yeah. Luger was in it at one time.
For those who are watching, you probably don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
But we were big wrestler fans growing up, and Sheldon was a wrestling promoter, so he's showing me all the great icons of wrestling over the years. So where was this picture taken?
This was in Providence.
Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence. It was at another wrestling convention.
Okay, so like you said, he's got four fingers up, which means the Four Horsemen.
Right.
Okay, I understand. Okay, let's see the next one. Oh, now who is this?
Too Cold Scorpio.
Okay, that one I'm not familiar with.
He wrestled in WWF as Flash Funk.
Oh, okay. I haven't been really.
And of course, he was Too Cold Scorpio in WCW and ECW.
He still wrestles in WWE?
No.
Oh, but yeah, he looked so familiar.
Yeah, that was at the Wonderland Greyhound Park.
Oh,
at an ECW show.
Yeah, you did a lot of the shows at Wonderland, right?
I only did one show at Wonderland.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go to the ECW shows, but I only promoted one show at Wonderland. And the reason there was only one show promoted because right after that show was the Station nightclub fire.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And any facility that was used as a nightclub, all the fire departments had gotten together and you had to be re-inspected to make sure that there were no fire hazards. And if you remember the Wonderland Greyhound Park and the area where they had the wrestling there, it was up an escalator. And what the fire department, the Revere Fire Department, dictated to them was that they had to put in another emergency exit, which they didn't want to do. It would have been too costly. So they had to close it as both a nightclub and as a venue for things like wrestling. And
I
so
do
forth.
remember the Station nightclub fire.
Yeah.
What a tragedy that was, you know.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at the next one. I know this man, Jim Cornette. Yep, I always saw him with a tennis racket. You know, he used to use that. He used to use the tennis racket as a weapon.
Right.
He's got a great podcast on right now, as I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does. And I've seen him on Dark Side of the Ring, that TV show on Vice.
Right.
But yeah, he's quite a character. What's that? The hustle behind the muscle.
Yeah, it was my T-shirt.
Oh, that was your T-shirt?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are the hustle behind the muscle.
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite. Yeah, Jim Cornette is another crazy character that I like. That's it. If he does have a podcast on. What's his podcast called? Do you know?
Well, there's one's called the Jim Cornette Experience. And then there's the Drive-Through.
Oh.
Yeah, there's two of them actually.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more about wrestling, check out his podcast, the Jim Cornette Experience. So, okay, let's take a look at the next one. Oh, let me see. Who is that? Oh.
Big star right now.
Oh, CM Punk.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, he looks so different. You know, maybe I'm used to seeing him with like long hair and all those tattoos.
A little more,
over
his hair was really short.
CM
there,
Punk.
yeah.
He was with the WWE, but then he left. But now he's back again, from what I understand.
Yep.
So was he? Did he have like a feud with Vince McMahon or something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But he, so where was this?
This was in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Oh, you've been around. I mean, you've been everywhere. Wow. So how is he as a good person? Is he a nice guy or
A really great guy. He was supposed to work for me once, and he didn't make it. But we know each other.
Oh,
We've known each other for a long time before he became famous.
wow. He's from Chicago, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember him in the old WWE. Yeah. So I hope. Was he a part of the recently WrestleMania then, or
Yeah.
Oh.
This past WrestleMania.
I haven't seen. Like I said, I've been away from wrestling for a while. I don't follow it as much. I mean, I do occasionally see a show, like Raw or SmackDown. Occasionally when there's okay. Let's take a look at the next one. That's Arn Anderson, right?
No, that's Ole Anderson.
Oh, I got the. Oh my!
Right church, wrong pew. Yeah.
Oh, Ole Anderson. Are they brothers?
Not actually.
But they just have the same.
They portrayed brothers.
Yeah, they look alike. Maybe that's why I got them confused a second there. So now, where was this?
This was in Newton, Iowa.
Newton, Iowa.
Right. They have a wrestling museum out there. It was the opening of that wrestling museum in Newton. I think they've moved it to another location, but it was out in Iowa, and
Wow.
I was there with Ole Anderson.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think you've been to all 50 states, haven't you?
Not all 50 states, no.
Oh, wow. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, this I'm not sure. I know. Is that the Boston Bad Boy?
Nope.
Oh, what's his name? He's with ECW, right? So,
It's Paul Heyman.
That's Paul Heyman?
That's Paul Heyman.
Oh my God, he looks so
Paulie
different.
Dangerously. Well, it's a long time ago.
How long ago
It
was
was
it?
1996.
He was the founder of ECW.
Yes, he was.
I know. Yeah, and I know I've seen him as. I can't believe I didn't recognize him. Maybe the way the photo was, but
Yeah.
I mean, like he's. No, he's quite a character. I mean, he was the few times I've seen the wrestling on TV is like when he's the manager. But
Yep.
he, I felt so bad for him when ECW had to close down because it was a lot of fun to watch. It was really too. But I mean, so is he really? He must be a really nice guy in real life. I know they play the wrestlers. They play these bad guys or heels or baby faces, but they're really down to earth guys. A lot of them, aren't they?
Paul was a very bright guy, a very, very intelligent guy, a wrestling genius in a lot of ways, a marketing genius in a lot of ways, because I thought ECW was brilliant marketing. He may not have had the most resources behind him, but
why did ECW close down? I never understood that.
Well, a lot of it just had to do with running out of money. You're trying to compete with multi-billion-dollar corporations. It's not so easy to do.
Yeah, but yeah, he was. He's quite a character. I love him. I love him on Raw. Let's see. Anything else? Next one. Okay.
Now this is somebody you won't know. This is a gentleman by the name of Sputnik Monroe.
Sputnik. What a name, Sputnik Monroe.
Right. Now Sputnik was mostly wrestled in the South. He never really wrestled up this way.
Yeah.
But Sputnik Monroe is someone who was very important in pro wrestling history because he broke the color barrier in pro wrestling. He in the old days of pro wrestling in the South, the arenas were segregated.
Oh, really?
And Sputnik, though he was not black, was very popular among black patrons. Oh. And what he demanded the promoters do is integrate the seating.
Oh, wow.
So that his fans would be able to have a more enjoyable experience watching the shows.
Oh, wow.
So Sputnik Monroe was a very interesting figure in pro wrestling history.
Wow.
And this was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so he did all that. That's incredible. I mean, to end segregation the way he did.
Yep.
So let me guess. His name is Sputnik. Did he play like a Russian bad guy?
No, not at all. Not at all. Why he got the name Sputnik, I don't know, but he used to call himself the Diamond Ring and Cadillac Man.
The Diamond Ring and Cadillac Man.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, like I said, a lot of people don't know this, but before WWE or WCW, wrestling had all different territories,
right,
and all sorts of things, and also, and Vince McMahon pretty much used to take all this talent from all these territories and bring them over, and a lot of promoters were really upset with him. They even said to him. They said in an interview, Vince, you're going to end up in the bottom of a river, or something like that, from what I do. Okay, let's. What's
that didn't work out too well.
No, that didn't. No, but let's take a look at the next one. Is there any more? Okay.
That's Cowboy Bill Watts.
Cowboy Bill Watts. Okay, that one I do not.
Promoter of the UWF, was a very famous wrestler back in the day. Used to be a tag team partner with Bruno Sammartino in the early '60s.
My grandfather's favorite wrestler, Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. So I don't remember him too much. Like I said, I only remember vaguely the wrestlers back in the '60s and '50s.
Right.
What else do we have? Now I know who this is. This is Mae Young.
That's right.
I used to see her on the Raw shows. What was she in 88, 89 years old?
Yeah,
and they used to put her through tables. All sorts of things.
Tough lady. Tough lady.
I know.
But a sweetheart.
I know.
In actuality, just a very sweet lady.
I just felt bad for her because at that age, and you're putting her through tables, you're punching her and everything. But it's amazing how much she was able to take it at that age, though. She was
tough as nails.
I know, and she used to be paired with the Fabulous Moolah, another from the '80s that I like. Yeah. So where was this one taken?
This was in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. That seems to be a very hot spot for a lot of the wrestlers. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, that.
Now, you're probably not going to know who this is, but you'll know who his children are. He had two sons that are both wrestlers.
Okay.
Both of whom are now passed away.
Is that Von Erich?
Nope. That's Angelo Poffo.
Oh, Randy Macho Man Savage and Leaping Lanny Poffo's father.
That's correct.
I know. I remember seeing him in black and white TV. I mean, Angelo Poffo.
Yep.
A lot of people know this, but Randy Macho Man Savage, he was actually a prospect for the Cincinnati Reds. He actually was trying to be a baseball player. He didn't want to get into the business, but he ended up in the wrestling business too.
Yeah.
And I met Randy Savage. The old Meadow Glen Mall, it's now a Wegmans, but he was this was around the time that that storyline in which he was getting married to Miss Elizabeth, even though they were married in real life.
Right.
But he was signing autographs. I still have that. I should have brought it. I didn't bring it. I didn't think of it. I still have it. It's at my parents' house. It's the autograph that says "To Steve" from Macho Man, and I remember he was one of my favorites. I mean, I just loved his "ooh yeah" and all that. But he was quite a character, snap into a Slim Jim, and I loved him in the Spider-Man movie. He played Bonesaw McGraw.
Bonesaw McGraw, yeah,
that was fun, and I know when. I remember when he passed away, my cousin, who was a bigger wrestling fan than I was, he loved Macho Man, and but I can't believe that's Angelo Poffo. My goodness. So, okay, let's see the next one. I know who this is. I'm saying, is it, his last name was Sean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What was the first name? I forget. He had a daughter, Luna Vachon. And what was his first name? I forget.
Maurice
Vachon.
Maurice Mad Dog Vachon.
Oh, yes. Okay. I recognize that face.
Right.
I know.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Would have been. And I remember his daughter, Luna Vachon. She made a few appearances. Now, let me guess. Is this Las Vegas?
No, this is Iowa.
Back
in Newton, Iowa.
Back in Newton, Iowa. The Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. That's Jerry the King Lawler on the right.
That's correct.
And I'm not sure who the one on the left.
Dangerous Doug Gilbert.
Doug Gilbert.
Brother of Eddie Gilbert.
Brother of Eddie Gilbert. Wow.
The late Eddie Gilbert, yeah.
Yeah. Jerry Lawler, I remember I'm old enough to remember when he had that feud with Andy Kaufman. I know. And, it was, if you ever seen Man on the Moon, and Jerry makes a appearance in it too, like it was all staged and everything, how they did.
Right.
But David Letterman didn't know that Jerry Lawler was going to slap Andy Kaufman. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
What was Andy Kaufman? The intergender wrestling champion.
That's right.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, people still think that he faked his own death even today. I mean, I highly doubt it. But but I used to. I loved Andy Kaufman, but Jerry's quite a character. I remember I was actually watching the Raw episode where he actually suffered a heart attack, and Michael Cole was like saying this is not part of the show and all that stuff, and he was lucky that they saved his life that day. But I mean, does he still wrestle? I mean, he's
not now. He had
Yeah.
a stroke recently.
Oh, he had a stroke recently?
Yeah. So he
he-
hasn't been wrestling. He's making some appearances. He's getting better, but
Yeah.
I think his wrestling days are done.
Yeah, I hope so. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been nice. Okay, what's next? Okay.
So this is Antonio Inoki, who's the
From
founder of
Japan.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Now, is that Japan or is that New York?
Oh, well, this is Los Angeles. This is Studio City, California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Antonio Inoki?
Yeah.
Oh, so he
He had
wrestled
a
mostly.
very famous mixed martial arts match against Muhammad Ali.
Really?
In
Muhammad Ali?
1976, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Nah, I never saw that. I wish I'd love to have seen that. But man,
You can probably find it online on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else we have. Oh, that's it.
That's it. Wow.
So thank you so much for letting me go through all these famous, all the
My pleasure. I
wonderful
probably could
wrestlers.
have dug
you've
up some more if I had a little more time, but that's
Okay.
all right.
I know. I know. Yeah, but what was I going to say? So you're also an author as well. We're going to take a look at some of the books here. Now, this is The Last Fall.
Right.
It's a pro wrestler's odyssey.
Yep.
Now, I'm looking at the back here. The Last Fall follows the life of wrestling career of Rick Pacheco. So is he? Now, is this
It's a novel. It's fiction.
Oh, it's fiction.
Yep.
Okay. So, what gave you the inspirations to write this novel?
Well, let me back up a little bit before I answer your question. about 2.5 years ago, I was on a plane coming home from Las Vegas, and my kidneys failed.
Oh, no.
So I've known I had kidney disease for quite a number of years, so that wasn't a new revelation. It wasn't something that came on all of a sudden, but all of a sudden my kidneys failed. When we landed in Boston, they rushed me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for over a month. And then I went on kidney dialysis, and I'm still on kidney dialysis. I'll be on dialysis until I can get a kidney transplant.
Oh.
But anyway, that pretty much ended my active career as a wrestling promoter, at least of live events. And I was laying in the hospital bed in Mass General, and I was saying to myself that this can't be the end of my creative life. Man, between the years, I still have it. So I made a promise to myself that I would, figure out what I could do physically and then do that. So about 6 months after this, I retired from my regular job, and I decided that I was going to try and write a novel. I'd always wanted to write a book, never had time. Many friends of mine have written books, and I decided to take a stab at it, and so out came the last fall. I wanted to do a fictional book, and the reason I wanted to do a fictional book is I felt that through the vehicle of fiction, I could say more things about pro wrestling than I could in a history of something or someone. So when the book came out, which is now almost 2 years ago, it was a big success. Sold a lot of copies, tons of rave reviews on Amazon, and
That's where you can get the book to Amazon.
that's correct.
Right?
You can get it on Amazon.
We're going to put up the info and the credits at the end of the show.
Yep. And so the book was so successful that it spawned a sequel called After the Bell.
Let's take a look right here, After the Bell.
Right. And After the Bell, it takes place 17 and a half years after the end of the last fall. And it follows
How many
Rick's
years?
17 and a half.
Wow.
So it follows Rick's career. He's no longer a wrestler. He's a promoter and a trainer of wrestlers. And it follows his post in-ring wrestling career and bringing up a family and coping with trying to create the next generation of wrestling stars.
Wow, it really it sounds like, I haven't read the books yet, but it sounds really fascinating a read. So
They're both very true to the business. So even though they're fictional books, there's a lot of truth about the wrestling business in both of those books, and in the third one as well.
Okay, let's take
which
a
is
look.
called A Mad Dog's Tale.
A Mad Dog's Tale. This is a big book right here.
It is a big book, yes.
Yeah, A Mad Dog's Tale.
So A Mad Dog's Tale is a spin-off of book number 2. There is a character that shows up towards the end of After the Bell called Michael Mad Dog Morrison. And A Mad Dog's Tale is his story. Michael Mad Dog Morrison was a fictional wrestler who came from Marblehead, Massachusetts,
Oh.
from a very well-to-do Jewish family. And it follows his career as getting into amateur wrestling and to the Olympics and then into pro wrestling via Japan. And so it follows his life and career, and it's a family story as much as it is a wrestling story.
Wow.
It's a lot about his family and so forth.
Yeah, I love to read about these. So you can get these books on
You can get them on Amazon. You can also get them on my website, which is www.necw.tv.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a shop page on that website, and you can buy autographed copies of these books.
Oh, okay.
So,
Definitely.
yeah.
So before we go, like I said, I love to read these books. And what is your opinion on the current status of wrestling? We all know, like, Vince McMahon got into hot water recently, and
Right.
is it? I mean, it's gotten so big now. It's on Netflix. Like, what do you think is the future for wrestling?
Well, here's the thing. I think that the wrestling that we grew up with is over and done. It's now a very, very corporate business. Whereas when I came up, I started promoting wrestling in 2000. And when I started promoting independent wrestling, as they call it, was actually a fairly new thing. There weren't a ton of independent wrestling companies. Now there's a million of them. Mm-hmm. And it's the independent companies that are more the spirit of the pro wrestling that we grew up with now versus the WWE or AEW, which is more corporate wrestling. I mean, WWE is basically a government contractor. When you see them go overseas, governments of those countries are paying them to be there. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. When they go do pay-per-views in big cities, cities bid on it. They pay site fees in order to get those events to come to their cities so that fans will fly in and stay in the hotels and spend money and so forth. So this is something that the promoters of old couldn't even dream of, you know, how it's become such a corporate business. And the buy-in now to be competitive is a lot stiffer than when I started promoting. I could basically do it out of my back pocket. I mean, that's,
It's a different business now.
It's a different business now altogether. If you really want to be competitive at it and make money at it, you got to come in fairly well-heeled. So
now that, like I said, you're an author now, everything.
Yeah.
So, like I said, so if you want to know more about Sheldon and the author of these books, you go to Amazon.com and NECW.TV.
Yep. That's to get an autographed copy. If you look me up by name on Amazon, you'll find the books.
Yeah, I definitely will. Sheldon, I can't thank you enough for being here today. I mean, I've known you for so long. I've wanted you on the show. I hope you had a good time, and
I did.
I hope that, like I said, if you want to know more, like I said, if you want to hear about After the Bell, The Last Fall, or A Mad Dog's Tale, as you can see right there, Mad Dog's Tale, go to Amazon.com or go to www.necw.tv. For an autographed copy of it. I want to thank my guest, Sheldon Goldberg. Sheldon, thank you so much.
Steve, thank you.
I really thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And I hope
Thank you
everything
for
goes
having me.
well for you, medical-wise and
Thank you.
everything.
Appreciate
I'm
that.
praying for you and everything.
Thank
So that's all the time we have for the Stevie B Show. As always, I'm Stevie B. I want to thank my guest, Sheldon Goldberg. And we'll see you next time. And maybe I'll see you in the ring next time. Just don't body slam me or anything like that. Have a good night, everybody. See you later.